Hi, Scott. Could you tell a bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Scott Meadows. I'm a third-year Arts and Business Speech Communication student with a specialization in digital arts communication. I know that's a little bit of a mouthful.
It's cool. Could you first tell us how you discovered about the program of speech communication?
Well, I actually discovered the program on somewhat of a whim. When I started at Waterloo, I was in economics, and I found that I really wasn't my thing. And then I just kind of accidentally stumbled upon speech communication and ended up going through the procedure to start taking it.
Alrighty.
Keep her rolling. Just keep her rolling.
All right. Now you know from knowledge that speech comm is becoming an independent faculty, branching off from drama. What's your reaction towards that?
I think that's great. Admittedly, I don't know a whole lot about drama and the things that go on there, but I would hazard a guess that the two streams of thought are very different, and that speech communication is really worthy of its own faculty, its own department.
That's awesome. Could you give us an example of a challenge or a constraint as a speech comm student that you had to go through?
I think one of the challenges, one of the greatest things about speech comm is you're often able to tailor your projects and your classes in a way that really reflects your interests. I think one of the challenges that I've personally had to deal with is that in an effort to tailor the project to something I like, but also making it meet the requirements of the project. Sometimes I might want to go a little bit outside the scope of the class with my projects, whereas that just wouldn't do.
All right. What are some of the perks of a speech comm student?
I think one of the perks is exactly what I just mentioned. The projects are pretty open-ended in what you can do, so you can really tailor the project and your experience to your own interests. Personally, I'm very interested in music, so I try and tie the projects as much as possible into that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's definitely been great.
Now, you mentioned that you want to go into the music industry. So that just leads to my last question there. Where else do you see, with this major that you have, how would you like to go beyond?
I'm not entirely sure just yet, but I definitely think speech communication is a great skill, and you learn great skills, and it's a great program for really anyone pursuing, to be honest, anything. I think communication skills are most important in any sort of discipline that you'd be studying or any sort of employment that you might be working towards. So I think speech communication, in the case of the music industry or in any sort of industry, is definitely invaluable.
Awesome. And lastly, just if you had to give a word of advice to first-year students or those who are interested in becoming speech comm majors, what would you say to them?
I'd say check it out, start taking some speech comm classes, give it a try. The chances are you'll probably enjoy them quite a bit. So.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Scott.
You're welcome, Alice.